you tell the difference? If I dropped in now and said, can you tell the difference between these two guitars? What would you say? I said earlier I was prepared to be quite cynical about this, and I thought it was going to be a bit rubbish, but it's not. I don't think you should buy this as an investment. I think you should buy it to play it, because it looks really cool and it sounds really cool. It actually is just a nice guitar to add to your collection. That's a game changer, isn't it? Crikey. Over and out. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. So I think it's probably quite obvious what we're looking at today. Yeah, we got one. It's the Epiphone, inspired by Joe Bonamassa, 59 Les Paul, which they call Lazarus. You know the story. I'm not going to go into all that nonsense. It's been covered by everybody. So let's look at this guitar, eh? Yeah, so got one in, couldn't resist it. Like a magpie, new shiny guitar. It's Monday now. Towards the end of last week, news was breaking. As soon as I heard they'd landed, probably about Thursday last week, I had a quick look online and I saw that PMT had a few. They're a big chain over here. And they only had a few, so I thought, I'm going to nab one. I'm going to nab one before they all go. You know what it's like. So yeah, I took about 10 minutes to decide. Pressed buy, and actually arrived on Sunday morning. So, you know, overnight. I think I bought it on Saturday and it arrived Sunday morning. So, well done, PMT. You have delivered. You have delivered Lazarus. So should we review it? Should we get it out and have a look? Yeah, let's do that. So, let's get it out. You get obviously this great case, you know, JB. You get the certificate of authentication, serial number, which is all a bit, you know, it's all nice, it's all very nice. And we'll whip to the important bit. Lazarus. So, you know, I obviously the first thing I'm going to talk about this is this maple, they call it a quadruple-A flame. It's veneer. So it's a veneer. It has got a maple cap, mahogany body, maple cap with this maple veneer. You know, obviously trying to emulate, you know, Joe Bonamassa's original. They'll all be different, obviously. But it's quite good, you know. It's got the kind of mineral lines in it, which is pretty cool. So it's quite convincing. Have a look. It's quite convincing. So we can compare that flame straight away to the 59, which I happen to have here. So the 59's more of a tighter, I suppose it's the same sort of thing, but maybe that's what they call the quadruple A. It's kind of got that wide flame, whereas this is a little bit tighter. It's a slightly different finish to the 59. The 59's, it's actually not a lot different, but this is slightly more satiny. This is slightly flatter and matter and flatter. And this is slightly more. The one thing that I'm not a massive fan of in the 59 is the actual finish there. I do think it's kind of not one thing or another. You know, it's not aged, it's just flat. a lot of people I know have been polishing these up. Whereas I've got to say, my initial impression is this actually is quite a realistically sort of feels a bit aged. I mean, it's not dinged and aged in that way, but it's yeah, it's quite, you know, hopefully that'll come across, you know, in some of the shots here. But I'll do some B-roll as well, so we've got plenty of shots of that top. Just going to take those bits of plastic off of the pickups because they offend me. I'm offended by stupid bits of plastic on the pickups. I mean, I know they're there for a reason, but get away. Right, so that's what you know, a veneer maple flame looks like, and we happen to have a real one here as well. So that's what a real one looks like. This is my R8, my 2016 custom shop standard historic R8. So let's just put those side by side just so you can get an idea. It's quite authentic, isn't it? It's quite authentic. I was prepared to be a little bit cynical about that, but actually, you know, from where you're sitting and from where I'm looking on the camera, it looks pretty realistic, doesn't it? Obviously, the R. So actually, camera left is obviously, yeah. Can you tell the difference? Yeah. Can you tell the difference? If I dropped in now and said, can you tell the difference between these two guitars? What would you say? So camera left, my right, is Lazarus. And camera right, my left is the R8. Just in case you got confused there. You might have done. If I jiggle them around a little, well, you can see because hang on, I can't see. I'm looking at the camera and picking up the wrong one. Obviously, this one's got, this is Sunrise T-Burst, the colour of my R8, which I think is great because it's got that real nice kind of tint in it sometimes. And this is a plain top. This R8 is a plain top. It's not meant to have a spectacular flame. But as you can see, it has got a really nice 3D flame, which, you know, depending which way you look at it, sometimes it does look plain, sometimes it doesn't. It looks like a tiger. This is called quadruple A. So make of that what you will. I'm sure there's lots of you who will tell me a little bit more about that because I don't know much about that, to be honest with you. I do know that a few people have said, well, that's not really a quadruple A, it's more like a triple A, you know, which might be splitting hairs, I'm not really sure. But anyway, let's look at a little bit more detail. So yeah, it's a mahogany body, there's no veneer on the back, it's two-piece this, I can see that straight away. Yeah, look everyone, I'm looking at the end as well, just to make sure. Two-piece mahogany body, mahogany neck. With this, it's got a scarf joint on the neck. God, you can hardly see that. God, you really can't hardly see that. I'm just pausing because I cannot see, I really cannot see a scarf joint there. And I cannot see the joint that should be there. I'm just going to leave that open. I was going to say, look, it's got a scarf joint, as I was expecting it to. I can't see them. I will come back to that before the film is out. Hello, this is me dropping in from the future. So I went and checked the neck specs because I was expecting this scarf joint, and no, actually, this is a one-piece mahogany neck. One-piece mahogany neck. That's a game changer, isn't it? Crikey. Over and out. Rounded, you know, fit what they call the 59 rounded medium C neck. We'll measure that in a bit. It's got the vintage style Cluson tuners with the tulip, cream tulip keys and vintage style bushings on them, which is very cool indeed. It's got an Indian laurel fingerboard. Medium jumbo frets on this, it's a Guitaraddict nut. Vintage style top hat knobs with the brilliant pointers, love those. The standard Epiphone hardware, nickel plated hardware of the Epiphone tone lock, bridge and tailpiece. Nice scratch plate on this, nice vintage style with the square edge. Nice amber knob tip. Knob feels good. Is it Switchcraft? Is it Switchcraft? Yeah, Switchcraft toggle. And the wiring in this, it's got CTS pots, Mallory caps, and 50s wiring. So that's all very impressive, a very impressive spec. And the pickups, of course, big deal for a lot of people. This has got proper, authentic Gibson burstbucker pickups in it. It's got a burstbucker 2 in the neck and a burstbucker 3 in the bridge. The whole thing is like £799, but when you look at some of this stuff, and the case, you know, if that's not important to a lot of people, but it's not terrible value for money. Well, let's say, I suppose we better probably hear it first and play it first and see what it sounds like before we actually make such ridiculous sweeping statements. But yeah, on the face of it, so I'm actually just feeling it. Let's weigh it and see what it weighs, eh? Very excited about this bit. £8.15 ounces, real nice weight, which obviously just over 4 kilos. Good weight. So what I'll do is I'm gonna change the strings before I play this. While we do that, we'll have a quick look inside the pickup cavities and inside the control cavities, and then we'll measure the neck. Before we do that, I just wanted to see what the setup was like out of the box. So obviously it's quite important to a lot of people. A nice open sound. So yeah, action's a little bit high, so I'm going to change the strings, and as I say, let's have a look inside it. So yeah, let's get down to it. Okay, so let's measure the neck. So there's the profile and measurements at the first fret. And there's the profile and measurements at the 12th fret. Okay, so let's measure the pickups. So on the bridge pickup, which is the burstbucker 3, we're measuring 8.3 kiloohms, and on the neck pickup, which is burstbucker 2, 7.90. So there's a little bit of a difference between those. We'll see what they sound like in a bit. For now, let's just pop them out and have a look inside. Okay, so let's have a look inside this neck pup cavity. Well, that's nice. Do you know what that's great. They normally got a big sticker covering that, and they haven't, so that's good. A long neck tenon there is quite unmistakable in there, and a 2, which presumably means burstbucker 2, and the label's gone. It looks like there was a label and someone's ripped it off. and on the buck of the bucker it says BB2, 5th or 11th of the May 21, the date, pattern applied for sticker, which is great, nice little authentic touch. That I like that, and you can see on that camera, yeah, you can see on that camera. Just pull it a little bit further in, so it's not out of the shot. You can see the neck join and the neck tenon there, and the maple cap. This all looks really good. I can just about see the veneer thickness. It's maybe a couple of mil by the looks of that. I don't think you'll be able to see that at all on the picture. I don't think there's any way I can show you that, but it's not paper thin, is what I'm saying. Let's have a look in this. There you go. BB3, 10th of the 5th, 21. A little bit more varnish in there. That's what it looks like in the cavatar. There you go. It's like a sort of tidy job. Okay, screw this back on. When I went like that, I did feel some sort of sharpy frettings. So I'm going to do this. Phillip McKnight, thank you, you're brilliant. I do watch your stuff a lot, and I think you set the bar, and you came up with this. And no, not puppetry. It's your there you go. It's your test. I've never done this before. It's exciting. Okay. Well, I think it passed. I think it passed the Phillip McKnight tights test. I felt that I could feel them. There are some sharp edges, but it's not that evident, so maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay. It hasn't really proved anything, has it? Apart from I steal my ideas from other people. Okay. What else? Board's a little bit dry, so I may as well put some stuff on that before I put the strings on. I will do that before I put the strings on. I won't bore you with that. Frets, a bit grubby. We'll play it a bit, clean those up. So it's interesting. There's no medallion that comes with this as an alternative to the black plastic one. I also thought there was going to be a strap, because in one of the pictures on the Epiphone website, they show you the set with a Joe Bonamassa strap, and I was quite disappointed to find out there wasn't one of those. Anyone else think that? Right, here's what you would expect to see in there. CTS branded pots. You can see that. Caps, and the wiring. I did get this asked about face in the last Les Paul comparison I did. The 50s wiring, as some people kindly pointed out to me, is in fact the cap goes from the hot on the tone control to the middle lug on the volume control, and I'm pretty sure. You should never take my word for any of this stuff. Honestly, this is an overview. This is not I'm going to put this back on and talk while I do it. But that's good. All proper braided, hand wired. Look, hand wired. Nicely done. That looks the job, doesn't it? Braided, nice. Yeah, let's put that back on. Yeah. I'm not sure if you've realised by now, but I'm no expert on this stuff. I know as much or less than you do. Sometimes maybe a little bit more. So make sure you do your due diligence on my so-called facts, because I do get things wrong. And I like it when, you know, I'm more than happy when people point out when I get things wrong. Just don't be a dick about it, you know, it's not necessary. We're just having fun, same as you. Right, so I think I've gone through, well, everything I'm going to. If I've forgotten anything, I've forgotten it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a bit of lemon oil on the ball to give it a bit of, you know, bit of food, just because it deserves it. And then I'm going to restring it, and then we'll come back and we'll have a listen to see what it sounds like, shall we? Can't wait. See you in a bit, Tom. Okay, we're back. New strings. I'll put some lemon oil on the fingerboard, just give it a drink. And I've lowered the action a little bit because it was a little bit higher than I like it. And the intonation was pretty good. I've had a tweak on the G and the B string, just adjusted those a little bit. All seems fine apart from that. So let's plug it in and play it. See what it sounds like, shall we? Yeah, stop mucking around. Let's hear the thing. See you in a minute. Right, so there you go. What do you think of that then? Sounds good, doesn't it? And looks good. And in fact, what I've done is, here goes side by side, the Epiphone and the R8 again. Can you tell which is which? So you've got 5 seconds. In fact, I have to look, so this is the Epiphone. No, I'm just joking. This is the Epiphone. This is the R8. The giveaway is probably more than anything that the R8 has got this bit of colour in it. It's got this real nice sort of sunburst. This is called Sunrise Tea Burst, and it's got a nice little bit of colour that sometimes you can see and sometimes you can't see, which is great. It's got a real nice 3D effect. So this is a plain top. This is called a AAA flame, and obviously there's no colour in that because Lazarus was originally refinished red, and they've taken it back to its original top, and there would have been no paint left on that. So it's just got this lovely amber nitro, finish over it. And I think it's very authentic, personally. Let's put that down there. I really do think it's more, very authentic. For, given that, it's an affordable, it's a maple veneer. So it's not a real thing, but I suppose it is but a fraction of the real thing, if you like. But I said earlier I was prepared to be quite cynical about this, and I thought it was going to be a bit rubbish, but it's not. I'm pleased to say it's not. I really am pleased to say it's not. Because I don't, I really like guitars, and I don't like it when I find them disappointing. There's no way, there's nothing disappointing about this tool. If you're thinking about getting one or you've got one on order, yeah, you won't be disappointed. The way they've done this is great. It's really pretty convincing. Obviously, you know, you can tell the difference close up, but on, you know, like you saw the two side by side. You know, honestly, if you were on stage, you know, this would look the business. You know, it really would look the business, and it plays great. Like it must be said, all of the Epiphone Les Pauls from the inspired by Gibson range, and the slightly, you know, hot rodded ones, if you like, for want of a better phrase, the Epiphone 59, and I'm sure the Slash ones. I haven't tried a Slash one, but I'm sure that they're great, and this follows. At £799, I thought, well, look, it's really expensive, but actually, when you look at it, I don't think it's overpriced when you consider the parts that they've used. So they've used obviously the Gibson burst bugger pickups, and it's got great wiring in it. So all of that's really good. But beyond that, it's a solid piece of timber. You know, it's a proper two-piece mahogany body and a solid single one-piece mahogany neck. We can't claim that the wood was harvested, you know, from the depths of the Everglades by a long-lost tribe of ninjas, but you know, there's no doubt that the timber's good. It's mahogany, and it's a great weight. You know, like a proper Les Paul should be, in my opinion. Some people like them heavy. You know, let's not get into that debate. But you know, it's under £9. It's great. With this, you get the hard case as well. So you know, you're adding, you know, $150 to the value with the case anyway, aren't you? And particularly, you know, this case is, you know, with the Bonamassa branding. Whether or not you're a fan of Bonamassa's, it's a collectible item. His guitars have been known to increase in value. I regret selling at least two of his previous signature guitars. So I know, I speak from experience, you know, bitter experience, that I could have made money on that Firebird and that Flying V. I don't think you should buy this as an investment. I think you should buy it to play it because it looks really cool and it sounds really cool. The fact that it's, you know, it's got the Bonamassa brand on the case. There's no branding on the guitar, so you wouldn't know it's a signature. It's not got his name or his logo on this at all, which I think is a really good move because, you know, it actually is just a nice guitar to add to your collection. Good news for you guys that have already got maybe the Epiphone 59 or the Epiphone 50s or 60s Les Pauls is, I mean, this one's not going to sound or feel a great deal different from those. So you're not going to have to rush out and buy this. You're not missing, you know, you're not lacking. What you've got is great already. The bad news is, you're going to want to go and buy this because it is sufficiently different to justify that and to justify, you know, having it in your collection. So I ummed and ahed about getting this because I thought, well, I've already got the Epiphone 59 and this is essentially, you know, the same but with a different finish. Well, it's not actually. It's actually almost a step up from that because of the one-piece neck. And certainly the finish is an improvement, I think. So maybe this is maybe they're kind of experimenting with these things, and you know, this is good. This is a great little, you know, it's a great little nod to a proper, authentic burst, if you like. Nice one, Joe. Nice one, Epiphone. So all that remains is for us to have a bit of a play out now with a Bonamassa inspired little ditty, and obviously, you know, with it with it being a Bonamassa inspired, what we'll attempt to do is cram far too many notes into a space where they have no right to reasonably fit, and obviously we'll do that quite badly because we're not very good at it. So, but we'll have a go anyway, because it's Lazarus. So this is what Lazarus sounds like played by an idiot. So thanks a lot for watching. Next week we're going to be back with we're going to finally do this. The Epiphone Riviera review of this next week coming up. So join us then. Thanks very much. See you then.